Hello and welcome. This is Erin, Geraghty, and
Raymond Garnaciano. No, my wife gonna kill me for that one. Ray Gardner.
we're here today to talk about the Thrive and Prosper Coach certification that is coming up October 18th to the 23rd. So we have some special news to drop that we've decided to combine forces.
Yes, sir.
So if you're in Bradenton, you've probably heard of one or both of us. So we're leaders in our field and we're really great friends. We have helped each other to grow over the years. We both own brick and mortar establishments and we're in the business of helping people to grow and get out of their comfort zones. So we are here today to talk about why we decided to combine forces, what we're here to offer you, and why this program is for you. So I wanted to start by talking about the coaching program and why it is not just for those who want to be certified as coaches, but also for those people who just want to be a better parent, want to be a better spouse, want to not be so reactive when somebody asks them a question or if they're dealing with some heightened emotion. So this is not just for people who want to become a certified coach. It's for people who want to learn how to regulate themselves emotionally and be able to show up in life skillfully. So Ray, I'm curious about your perspective as far as why is this course not just for people who want to get certified as a coach, but for pretty much everyone?
I think this program, as a person who took it, and I am a person with high EQ. I can feel stuff. That's what allows me to be a great coach. First off, when people talking about a great coach, and I say, tell me some of the characteristics of your favorite coach. It's never something that you can touch. It's like they made me feel. They was always there for me. They care for me. These are things that's hard to measure. So that's why, even though you have ranges of different coaches your whole life, the characteristics still stay the same.
Sure.
Which is the same characteristic of being a great husband, being a great father, being a great friend. These characteristics is flatlined through every single relationship. So if you notice, every great father is typically a great friend. Every great friend is typically has the potential to be a great coach, even if he don't even know the sport. I coach some of these sports like lacrosse and tennis, sports that I actually never played, but I still use the same systematic approach of that I learned in life coaching to help me get through everything. It's simply just breaking barriers for somebody else to be the best version of themselves. So when I took the coaching class, I was taking it from a place that I was in transition to get to my own business. I actually was already established in the community as a phenomenal coach, and I already believed that I was a phenomenal coach. So I just wasn't cocky enough to think that I didn't have more tools to get. I just didn't know what those tools were.
And I just want to say that it was very flattering for you to take my course. I have so many hard hitters like doctors and Olympic athletes and business owners. And Ray, you're such an inspiration to people. So to have your trust to do my course. And then and this is somebody who's already established in his community, who already has a lot of great skills. And he came, and so to hear that you got so much out of it and to see it in your life.
Right.
And to, see that other people are inspired by you and just to see you evolve has been phenomenal.
Hurt. I will tell you the biggest thing that I got and why I decided, outside of you, one of my best friends, and I went to you for therapy and I went for you for hard times and stuff like that. So you was already a person I can trust. But not everybody you go to will make a great partner in one of the best events of all time. You got to make sure you're there. But it was just really important for me because in every phase I learned something. When I was going to this course, I'm I got a lot of tools, so I'm kind of curious to see what I was missing. And the one thing I would tell for anybody out here that's listening to this is you don't know the tools that you don't have until you put yourself in a position where you're useless to use them. And for me, I thought great communicator, great energy, all of these things. But I didn't realize that with a couple tools that I learned in here, that it just makes the skills that I already have 10 times better. But once again, I will say this 1,000 times in this podcast, it wasn't just in coaching. And that's what I thought. I just want to be a better coach. It literally made me a better friend. It made me a better son to my mom. It made me better in every facet of my life that I felt that was important. So you can never not have enough tools. And that's what this course taught me. What tools I didn't have and how to utilize them. And the tools that I had already available, how to make those more sharpened.
I love what you said about like it not only is giving you tools, but it's also heightening and making more effective the tools that you already have, and that all of the tools that you learn in the course are transferable to other aspects of your life, right? So it's not just coaching, right? It makes you a better partner. It makes you a better brother, sister, friend, boss, employee, like whatever. It's like across the board, because when you have those deep changes within, your entire life changes. And it's hard to encapsulate that and kind of explain that to people, but you're living evidence of that.
Higher.
I'm living evidence of that. And so the fact that you were able to take these skills and use them to also enhance the skills that you already had. So anyone that's listening to this, if you already have a lot of life skills, I promise you that you will walk away from this course between him and I with at least 20 new tools.
Easy.
Yeah. And being able to apply them is another thing too. So talk a little bit about how you apply these tools in your life. And I can also talk about my experience as well.
I'm going to keep it at its most basic level. And this is not even something that's uberly specific in one book. It's kind of all through. I take something like the share circle, which is not in the book. It's not in the book. It's just something that we do. The share circle is just it's a time where we sit in a circle and a question is typically appointed to us and we have to ask. It's typically a thoughtful question that you have to think about, and it forces you to go deep, and they don't allow you to get out of it. So if it was a thoughtful question of, what advice would you give to yourself, your 18-year-old self? And that's a thoughtful question. First thing they do is nobody interrupt, nobody talk, and they allow you to breathe through it. They encourage you, breathe. Because a lot of times we don't get put in positions where somebody asks a thoughtful enough question where you actually need to take a second to think about it. So giving somebody the ability to say like, yo, it's okay to take time. Because in standard communication, silence is awkward. If we were just both like, yeah, did you feel that?
We're so comfortable with each other.
Yeah, so it's like we could have did that for a minute, which we have, which is uncomfortable as shit. All right, but the share circle allowed me to be like, oh man, this is intentional space that you give into somebody else. So I own a gym, and every Saturday we have a share circle where I ask a thoughtful question, and everybody in the circle waits now until the other person have time to have a thoughtful response to a thoughtful question. And you last week it was beautiful because last week I asked a person, hey, what have you done for somebody else without the expectation of anything in return? The most beautiful thing happened. The person next to her said, oh, let me answer that because this person won't brag about themselves, but I would brag about them. And she went on for about a whole minute on how thoughtful she is, how she's always there for them, how she holds space for everybody else. And then now she's taking care of herself in the gym and how proud she was. That wasn't where I was going to go in the share circle. But I was like, oh, this is so awesome. So how about the next 3 questions, I asked somebody a question about somebody else. And it was actually beautiful because one of the people was Crystal, who went through life coaching and YTT and everything like that from here. I asked somebody a question. I said, yo, Jess, I said, what are some of the things that you learned about Crystal that's absolutely awesome that she probably wouldn't brag about for herself, but you allowed to brag about her for him? And it just opened up a beautiful dialogue between 2 people from different perspectives. And I got like 3 or 4 text messages right after saying, hey man, like thank you so much. I really, really needed that. It gives them the ability to feel connected, and it gives the entire room the ability to connect with not only that person, but with them, with themselves. And now they start thinking, like, when you come in on Saturday, you're already thinking, shoot, have I did something good for somebody else or whatever. But it was beautiful, and we had a husband and wife. I picked on the husband, and he bragged about the wife, and that does not happen in any gym I've ever been to. But it doesn't happen without me combining what I learned in life coaching and how it can apply to literally everything.
Creating safe spaces is something that I think we both do beautifully, because people have to feel safe to be able to open up about themselves and other people in that way. And that's another aspect of the course, is it is a safe space for people to go deep, to dig into themselves, and to look at things that might scare them a little bit. Parts of themselves that are a little bit unflattering. And that's where growth happens, is in that bit of discomfort. And so having a safe space where people can come together, like high achieving people that are ambitious, that already like have their life together in a good way, and they want to take it to the next level. There is power in people coming together like that, like you and I, like our communities coming together and dedicating themselves to getting uncomfortable, digging in, doing the work, and forming connections and bringing together community. It's so beautiful. That's kind of what it's all about.
Let me ask you a question real quick, because I always, as we get deep, we use the same terminology sometimes without like defining it, and nobody is better at defining it than you are. So like we say these things so loosely, and it's like, hold on, wait, pause. What the hell is digging deep? All right, what is going deep? What is going deep, and what prevents people from going deep? And what's the biggest outcome you see in general of people being deep?
Yeah. So digging deep is when you have some space, maybe some quiet in your life, or if you take a course like this and it's encouraged, it's a safe space to be able to do so. And it's looking at the different pieces of yourself. So spreading it out on the table, so to speak. Like, you know, everybody has a shadow. Everybody has a shadowy part of themselves where they have habits and behaviors that they're not super proud of, but it's something that they might feel judged in any other capacity to be able to talk about and look at. But there's always a good reason why we have behaviors. It might be from childhood. It might be a coping mechanism. So part of the process of digging deep is becoming aware of these behavior patterns and these thought patterns, and being able to look at them objectively in a safe way, and then have tools to be able to change those thought patterns, those behavior patterns. For example, a common one that I see in coaching is a deep belief system of people not feeling worthy of love, of prosperity, of fill in the blank. And the thing is that with these subconscious belief systems, if we do not dig deep and address them, they will be running our life from the background. So digging deep, and here's another thing too, is when people dig deep and they're surrounded by other people that are digging deep, you feed off of each other. It's like an echo chamber where we're all working on each other, and we create this safe space. People come in, they're working on themselves, they're working on each other, they're hearing stories from other people that make them feel less alone. Like you have a saying at your gym is nobody prospers alone.
Yes.
Right. So that's the idea here, is that we all come together, like-minded people who, like, you might look across the room and see someone there and initially think, I have nothing in common with this person. By the end of the course, you're like, wow, we're so similar. We're working towards similar things, and we're all growing and improving together. So the bonding process, the community, and it's all because we were vulnerable enough to dig deep inside of ourselves and share that with others. And then we feel invincible. You feel so empowered because now you own your dark. You own all the parts of yourself that you used to hide from the world. Now you realize is your strength.
And that's what I always like diving into, because it's like, if anybody ever seen the movie 8 Mile with Eminem, have you ever seen it?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so it's the scene at the end where they doing a rap battle. And in rap battle, historically, it's like, I rap against you. All right, I didn't did my. This is before Google, probably anyway. But like, you know what I'm saying. But I didn't did my research. AI didn't help me out. I'm going through all your flaws. Like, you know what I'm saying. So it's like, so the whole point of it is me to attack you. So what he did was one of the most genius things that I feel like is the greatest analogy to what we trying to say. It's the greatest parallel. So his final round, he decided, he said, you know what, like, I'm not going to take these things that I know about you and rap against you. He said, this whole round, I'm just going to talk about myself. I am trailer trash. I am, and like, you know what I'm saying, I do stay at home with my dad. Like, that's, so what happens is, he spent the whole first round, because the other guy went second, just talking about himself, bashing himself. And then when the mic was given to the other person, he didn't have nothing to say. So that was such a beautiful parallel, because a lot of times vulnerability seems like a weakness. All right, like, but it's your biggest strength. Like, because if you own your vulnerability, nobody can take your power away. So like, if you follow me or Aaron, we always being so vulnerable that, like, what can you say? Man, Ray, I heard you scared of a dark. I know, I made a video about that. Yeah, man, you don't know how to change a light bulb. Yeah, I know. I made a video about that too. I'm not the man you think I am. You know, so, but owning your vulnerabilities, man, and actually being proud of it, and then working on the things that you deem is important, is the most powerful thing you can do. So that way, you can never give nobody the power to really just take away like how you feel. And I just think that's really important, and digging deep is one of the most essential components to that.
Yeah, certainly. So we have different things that we address in the course, and I wanted to talk a little briefly about the topics that we cover. So the bread and butter of the course, so to speak, is the clear formula. So this is a formula where you can solve any problem. You can plug in, organize, and separate out facts from your opinions or judgments. You can separate out your feelings, which are caused by your thoughts, and then that leads to actions and results. So this is something that once you get that formula, you can pretty much solve any problem in your life.
Heard.
And we go into emotional processing. So learning how to literally feel your feelings. It sounds easy, or like, oh no, I know how to. A lot of people don't. Most people don't.
And most people think they can do.
Exactly.
Like, most people don't, and 100% of those people, 99%, think they got. Yeah, I know my feelings.
Are you sure?
Until you tearing up in this damn class, I can tell you that. I mean, ugly tears. But the beautiful part is the person next to you is tearing up too.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no judgment. Everyone is accepting. It is such a safe space to do that work, and it is so cathartic. You feel like you're healing every single day. I have watched people walk through those doors, and every day they start smiling more, talking about these hard things, and they're ready for it, and they start smiling from their heart. Oh. And that's when you can see and feel that their energy is shifting and changing, and you start to see that they're acting differently because they're getting into these deep belief systems.
So dope.
So
I just want to, I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
I hate the people that be like, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm cutting you off.
We're both excited.
Yeah,
we're both excited.
I just wanted you to touch on one part, because you mentioned the clear fodder, which is the bread and butter. And I always go through, like, what's the biggest thing that I got through that I love for you to explain real quick is, all right, one thing you say is like your thoughts. All right, like, you know what I'm saying? Your thoughts is a choice.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And you choosing it. Can you talk a little bit about that thought process? Like, because we believe it. Like, you know, and that was the biggest thing, is like how I feel about something is different than what it really is. How I feel about, you made me feel, and that's different than that's what I'm saying. So could you just briefly go over that real quick? Because I think even if you got nothing, if you decided, you know what, I know everything, I got all the tools, or you just decided, man, I just want to just get some value out of this podcast. I think this right here alone is something that you can honestly take in your tool bank and just think about it and let it marinate, Nate, because I just think this thought process single-handedly allowed me to never, like, I ain't gonna say never, I'm still get pissed off sometimes, but it allows me to come back super quick, because I realized that, like, just because I feel this way doesn't mean that that's your intentions.
Yeah, so you're in this structure, in this format, your thoughts, which are opinions or judgment, create your feelings.
Yes.
Now, there's difference between the reality of the situation and what your thoughts are. And a lot of people don't get that. Your thoughts are choices. Now, let me just say that, because you might think, well, why am I choosing to feel this way? Why am I choosing to think that? I wouldn't choose that. Well, there's deep imprinting that happens subconsciously to where you have thoughts you're not even aware of. And here's the thing. We have 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day. Per day. Do you think you're aware of all of them? Nobody is. So coaching helps you to extract and find out what are those core thoughts that's causing you to feel a particular way by dropping you into your body, making you aware of your the vibration that you have, but also like the opinions or judgments that you have, because you start digging deep. And you're able to separate out what's the actual like neutral reality, because reality, it's not good or bad. Our opinions about it are. And when you become aware of these subconscious thoughts that you have, you bring them to the surface, they become a choice. Yeah. Which is so empowering, because even if you've had a belief system for a long, long time, when you bring it into your conscious awareness, you get to choose. Is this something I want to keep believing? Or do I want to believe something different?
Could you give an example of just that part? Something that you believed and you just chose a different way to look at it, and it kind of changed you?
Yeah, I'll give a personal example. So a belief system actually that I had for a while was that I'll always be alone. I'll always be alone. Like when it comes down to it, my friends will leave me, partner will leave me, or I'll leave them, and I'll always be alone. And when I became aware of that, it was very painful for me. And it, had to do with my childhood, parents being divorced. I was left to my own devices. And I became a resourceful child and very independent. But, you can see how that thought, if it's kind of playing in the background, and if you buy into that, your thoughts create the emotion, which then creates the action in your life, that was running the show. And so it sabotaged friendships. I would sabotage relationships because in the background, I had this voice whispering to me. Yeah. When I became aware of it, I was able to challenge it and say, like, is this something I want to choose? And when I looked at, like, why will I end up alone? It was because I didn't have a lot of self-worth at the time. And that, looking at that and recognizing that it was a belief that I had a choice over, and that I didn't have to be alone, and that I could step up and I could be a leader in my community. I can be a friend. I can be a partner. I could be an inspiration to people. And that was also a choice. It made it an easier decision because I recognized that I always had the power. I just forgot myself. So this tool helps you, and with the questioning that we do in coaching, it helps you to become aware of these deep thoughts that you have that, again, you might not have any freaking clue, but you look at what's happening in your life and the results, and you say, something's not right here. Something's not right here. And it gives you the power to step back into control of your life. So, in short.
No, it really is. I just remember on a lighter side, I just remember being a gym owner and transitioning from a trainer to a gym owner. People still look at you as a trainer. Like, I'm not a trainer anymore. I own a training establishment. Now I train sometimes, but it's a difference. Most people only know me as the trainer side. So when I became a business owner, I have to train less in order to make quality product for everybody.
Of course.
The business is actually better suited when I'm not training, even though people might argue it. But people used to always say, whenever they didn't see me there, they would say, man, you never work. I'm at the gym more than you. And I'm like, these are half-an-hour classes, and you coming from 6 o'clock to 6:30. You're not here at 5:15. You're not here at 8:30, 10. You're not here in the afternoons. You're not here at 7 o'clock at night when I'm leaving. You're not there at 4 in the morning when I wake up. But what I was saying is that when people used to say it, it made me feel, I was choosing to believe that they was saying I'm a person that don't work hard. I'm at the gym more than you, AKA I work. You don't work, man. And some people would say, man, you don't even work no more. Literally, And they used to like truly hurt my feelings for real as a person that prides himself on being work hard. But then I went through all my tools and I breathed and I was just, why am I choosing this? Why, like what other choice can I make for me not to feel this way? That was the biggest thing. I didn't want to feel that way anymore. So what can I choose to think to make me feel better? And soon as I just asked these questions to myself, automatically it went from me being upset because they don't think I work hard to being like, oh shit, they just saying they miss me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Every time, man, you ain't never here. I miss you. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, you don't even work no more. Hey man, I miss seeing you. I miss seeing you run the classes. Like, you actually make my day. And now when people say, because I still get it sometimes, you ain't never here, my response is always, yo, I miss you too. That's it. And it has changed. Even some people that would say that to me, it has also changed their conversation with me to being like, hey man, I do miss you. And that's beautiful. But that's just one example of how these tools that I never thought that was tools in the first place. I didn't think I lacked that. But how I use those tools to simply just become a happier person. I didn't want to be upset with nobody, and I didn't think that was their intentions.
It takes up a lot of mental space if you think about hypothetical arguments, or like you get pissed off at this, or you get, angry or frustrated with that. What percentage of your mental space is rented out for free to these issues? Yes. So that's another thing that coaching does, is it helps you to create clarity in your mind. And again, if you choose, like, I want to feel peaceful, I want to feel empowered, I want to feel confident, you find a way to do that, and this course helps you to do that. It is literally like winning the lottery. Because again, you can have all these things in your life, but if your attitude and your mental state is not in alignment with them, or if you have these belief system running in the background that you're no good, or you have to work hard for every single thing that you have, you will create that reality. And so sitting in the driver's seat is part of this process. And now we have different topics that we cover, about 12 to 15 different topics. And one thing that is really special with this round of this course is that Ray is so great with helping to forward connection and communication. Again, you can just, if you ever go to his gym, and if you've never been to Prosper Bradenton, it is so different from any of the other gyms in the area. It's where I go to work out. I absolutely love it. And there's such a sense of community, connection, and good communication. And so, Ray, would you share just a little bit about maybe that piece in the course that you're sharing with others and teaching, and why it's important?
I'm super excited because to go from a person that was in the class to having my own damn booklet. Mama, I made it. All right, I'm super excited because once again, I learned these tools, and then I just kept on getting better at a part where honestly, as a trainer, I just felt like it was hard for me to get better. Like, I run great classes. I did classes of 200 people. Training became easy, but now having a team, I was figuring out, like, how can I explain that to them? Like, I can't say just have a personality and love people. It just wasn't good enough. So from what I learned is you can go to every gym and get exercise, every single gym. If the gym you go to claims to be the best gym, is because, like, we got the best exercises. A bicep curl is a bicep curl. Whether you see that at the gym, you can do it on your own at Planet Fitness, or you can look online. You can do it. Like, that's not easy. Exercises, like, some people love F45, some people love Orange Theory. Like, it's just a form of different exercises. And with that, it can get old. But one thing that never get old is culture. Feeling love, feeling connected. So what I did is I spent all my time, and you can ask my trainers, the only thing I talk about is connection, connection, and connection. The easiest way to connect is not, people say, like, you just got to learn how to be a better communicator. When people think about communication, they think about talking. The person that's in control of every single conversation is the person that's asking questions. If you can get better at asking questions, then you can get better at controlling the conversation. All right, and you can get better at connecting with somebody. But the only way to ask great questions is to become a great listener. And that's the thing that I'm going to talk about in my booklet is the better listener you can become, the better questions you can ask. The better questions you ask, the more connected you will feel. So when you take this course, the one thing you're going to get out of my segment is how to connect rapidly, how to build connection in 15 seconds. And if you can do that, then you can literally change the world. You can be you can make people love you. And if people love you, they'll trust you. And if they trust you, then you can actually help them to get to a better place.
Yeah.
That's what I'm super excited about.
Yeah, and that requires us doing a lot of that sort of connection work with ourselves, because as you mentioned earlier, the more that we feel connected to ourselves, the more that we're able to connect with others.
Right.
And in addition to the tools that you teach as far as listening and communicating and receiving what people are saying, feedback, and sometimes that requires uncomfortable conversations.
Yes.
Right, addressing things.
Yes.
Because true friendships and relationships that you're not always going to agree on everything.
Right.
You're going to have some conflict, and so being able to have some conflict resolution skills is really important as well. Right. And that is included in the course as well. So we've been talking about this course. We're super excited, and I think that as far as the strengths that we bring, we're both really into helping people connect, to form community. I really like to dig deep. I like to go into the nitty-gritty, and I'm really great at doing it. And Ray, I love how you kind of get in there in a different way. Mm-hmm. You're so loving, and people just feel accepted by you. They feel loved. They feel included. And you are also a master at keeping people accountable. Which is, it's funny, sometimes I see it on social media, just calling people out. But the thing is, people want that. I mean, they'll pay good money to have accountability. And so part of this course, too, is, helping to hold you accountable. Because here's the thing, is if something's uncomfortable, after a while, you're going to need a little bit of accountability, because otherwise it's too easy to kind of kind of avoid it.
Yes.
So this course, not only do we provide accountability, help you to dig in deep, show you the tools, but eventually you're going to start feeling so good about this that you're going to want to keep yourself accountable too. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge part of what we're doing together as far as combining our strengths, combining our forces.
Yes.
So you get two amazing leaders, two amazing coaches in this process. And then as everybody is coming together, forming community, digging into themselves, everybody is uplifted.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I just want to let y'all know, let's just get this out. All right, this program, it won't be cheap. It's going to take a lot of your time, 7 days straight, 8 hours. You're going to go through, you're going to dig deep. It's going to be a lot of tears. It's going to be a lot of crying. On the other side of that, I can promise you will never feel better in your life. Better about who you are, who you have became in just a short 7 days, and who you want to be. This program literally changed my life. And my life was already good, for real. My life was already great, to be honest. And honestly, I went into this thing, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to give it everything I got. And I realized that, even if you good, even if you great, you can still get greater. It's the reason why LeBron James still have a coach. Jordan had a coach. D Wade had a coach. The greatest people of all time still had somebody that was a coach. And what is a coach? A person that cares about you and they hold you accountable. And you won't get two better coaches that care about you that will hold you accountable to the things that you said you wanted. Now, the difference between us and most other people, we gonna cut through the shit and get to what you really need. Not necessarily what you want, because a lot of times what you want is not what you need. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out internally, what exactly do you really need? And then we're going to hold you accountable to that. And you're going to be your purest form. You're going to be the best version of yourself. I guarantee it. It changed my life, or I wouldn't be doing this. And I thought I was already good. And I can guarantee that it changed yours.
We would love to work with you. So we have limited spaces available. So we are starting October 18th to the 23rd. So we have, I think, 14 spots left. So if you want to sign up, you can go ahead and do so. We'll have information in the links in the show notes. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you and for a life transformation and community building experience.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much for listening. If you want to support the podcast and if it's helping you, please consider writing a review. You can go to iTunes or Google Play, go into the search bar and type in Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching, scroll down, and you can leave a review. This helps other people to find me as well as bumps us up in the search ratings. Also, this podcast is sponsor-free, so that means we don't receive anything for doing it. If you feel so inclined and this podcast is helping to support you and you want to return the favor and help to support any production costs of the podcast, feel free to give a donation to a Venmo link, Thrive Yoga Fit, or PayPal, Erin@erincoach.com. If you don't have the means, don't worry about it. We're not going anywhere. You're all good. But if you would like to give back, you can give back in those ways. Thank you so much. Namaste.